We realize that parenting is not just only about giving whatever your kids want in life and, being there to provide for them whatever it is that you can provide. But it takes a humble person. It takes a strong kind of a parent or a father or a mother figure into the lives of kids that are under their wings. That desire to teach them nothing but the truth through love and compassion, just like Christ did unto us, to labor to teach them the basics of life, the things that are going to last for long, the values that are important, like honesty, responsibility, fairness, generosity, respect for one another, obedience, those are the values that are going to last. So let's inculcate in our children and all the kids around the world the strong values that can make them the strong and valuable citizens in the world. Because the world is always on the lookout for great personality. The world is always on the lookout for people who are going to shape it forward. You might have been a nurse, you might have studied your profession, you're a teacher, but I care about you adding unto those children the values that are going to shape their future. Values that are going to make them, useful citizens in their nations across the world. That's what is going to make a difference. You might be a nurse. Hospitals and health centers within your villages, within the country, within the African continent and across the world, they need your service. You've got to do the best for them. You've got to be available. You might be a doctor. So many lives need your service, without thinking of bribe, without thinking of pity money, and you let go of lives. We lose lives because you are not willing to work, because you're thinking of going in private health centers to make a living. With us, our poor women and men are dying in the hospitals, even when they come at as early as 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning, but they are unable to access, medical services because you are not available. You might have been an engineer. The road across the African continent needs you. Buildings that are not going to collapse on people need you. So you have got to do that. You might be a lawyer. Justice and truth needs your service. That you will deliberate your issues without being complacent, without having a corrupt mind, that you will surely give, to the world nothing but the truth. And the truth shall indeed set all of us free. And if we all care to do good, then I promise you that God is going to lead us in a better direction. We all have something we can offer to the world. Education is good, but education is not going to solve the problem that African continent is going through. So it's about me and you to do things that are going to better our economies. If we are seeing our economies rising up in Benin, Angola, or Senegal, or Mauritania, or Equatorial Guinea, DR Congo, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, then we have all got to do something. And nobody does big things by themselves. We have got to do it together. Let's build a community around us. If you want to walk fast, you've got to walk alone. But if you want to walk far, we have got to walk as a group. That's what is going to propel our world forward. And if we are going to move through that leap, to go in the right direction in the future, then Mother Africa desires that most of you brilliant young men and women that are striving and really fighting hard to live are, they need your service. They need your service, if not in the health. They need your service in businesses. They need your service in the transport network. They need your services across leadership and many other callings that God perhaps could have put in your heart. And let's teach our kids nothing but the truth. Because a lot of times people like to hide the truth from the young suckers that we need to mentor to take up leadership positions from us. And I hold the view that going forward doesn't need all of us to think of sticking and getting stuck to leadership, but offering solutions that are going to solve the problems of the world. Until when we do that, that's when Africa is going to start rising and moving in the right direction. Because for far too long, we will always be lamenting, and we are always co-authors of our mixed fortune, because many times we just like to be, in that state of sorrow and lamentation. But if we are going to get better, let us rise up, let us get to action, let's take to work. You've got to roll up your sleeves. You've got to take to the action. Because on the dinner table, there are only few positions which are there. You either be a diner, or you're being the real food being consumed, or you're waiting on other people. And I hold the view that going forward does not need the African child to keep on waiting on others. Let us invite ourselves. And matters of importance, nobody invites you to do them. You have got to invite yourselves. If it means, get crossing to go to the dinner table, let's do that. Let's go and mechanize agriculture. Instead of focusing our budget across the African continent on the military and the political leadership, which is not taking us any far, let's avoid that. Let's do it on a rotational basis. A lot of our countries, we have agriculture as the backbone of our nations, but many times it's the least when it comes to budget allocation. And I hold the view that going forward is needing all of us to help Mother Africa in realizing the dream that we long for. And then I remember vividly and well that on the 24th of May in 1963 in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, we saw the likes of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah eloquently speaking about the need for Africa to unite. And the sooner we unite, the better. Because a lot of leaders today, they cannot see what our four ancestors could see even when they were sitting down, even when the leaders today, they're eye on a tower, living in a place of exclusive club with a lot of zero bank, the money in their bank accounts. That is not advancing Mother Africa forward. With us, it's no more in the Netherlands for a prime minister to ride to work. Mother Africa doesn't have the time for the prime ministers and ministers to ride to work. They have got to go through a motorcade. Leave alone the presidents and the first ladies. They are in their world. They are in their own world. They do not mean well to the common people, the wananchi. That's why they will do anything it takes them to do to make sure that the little that the countries are having are consumed to the bones. And I hold the view that we all need to do something for Mother Africa. If Africa is going to rise up, we have got to take to mechanizing agriculture. We have got to industrialize, and we should be able to benefit out of the fourth industrial revolution. Until when we create businesses and strong economies that are able to self-sufficiently fund their budgets within the African continent, the nations across the 54 nations that are recognized, if you ask Morocco, then surely we are going to be treated as people who matter. But for long, we will always continue to be treated as people who do not matter, as long as we have not had the desire to do things to better Mother Africa. Because if you think it's about China or UK or America or Japan or Germany to help Mother Africa from the things that she deals with, then you're deluding yourselves. We are allowing ourselves to be manipulated, and we are manipulating ourselves to think that people from outside can solve the problem of the African continent. But I hold the view that going forward needs Africans for Africans. Uhuru Nakazi, Julius Nyerere said that. Freedom and work. Let's see the freedom that they speak about across the African continent alive and well at the dinner table. Let's see it alive and well through the children and students who are able to afford college educations even when they don't have the money to fund themselves in those schools. And let us desire to make the education systems work for all of us. If we desire to make education systems that are going to work for all of us, then I promise you, God is going to lead us in a better direction. God is going to lead us in the right world that we all deserve. And I do not wish to see most of the African men and women landed as they are, desiring to die in the Mediterranean Sea, but rather alive and well in helping Mother Africa going forward. And going forward will need all of us to work together in unity, that we will open our borders to trade easily with each other, and we can indeed build businesses that are supposed to be working in the African context, not a business which is supposed to be operating in New York. Because how can you ask an entrepreneur in Uganda or Kenya or Kigali in Rwanda to have a track record when you know very well Apple or Amazon were in business for 13 and 30 years? And there is no track record, and they were still in the business, and people were there to fund it to go forward. And I hold the view that going forward will need us to have that open borders, that we can trade easily with each other, and thereby we develop Mother Africa. Buy Africa, build Africa. Let's desire to build each other up. Let's not desire to pull our industries down. The little that they are initiating, the little that they are manufacturing, I hold the view that going forward will need us to support those local industries. Globalization is good, but for how long will the African people be there and we think that they do not manufacture goods that can help the world? Because a lot of things in the world, think about it this way. By 1776, America was not anywhere. India was on top of the game of the economies that were running and viable, seriously. But America today, it is what it is because men and women desire to do good to make sure that it is what it is. China is the same thing. Do not be deluded. Do not cheat yourself and think that China or America were God created. That on the 8th day there was Amazon, or on the 8th day there was America or China. No. Not even an angels of the Lord who built them. But let's desire to build Mother Africa.